The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
I need to hear some victory stampede music myself, but I guess we're not going to get it. We'll get it tomorrow because it's a fabulous football Friday tomorrow, but this is a Thursday inside the SWBC podcast studio, and I don't know where y'all have been all week, but I've been right here.
You've been laying on a bed?
Listening to you all week. And there are football players on a football field. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm past the Packers. It took me a few days to get over it, but that's why I'm back today.
I like that, Bill. Let's bring in a new attitude here.
That's right.
And most importantly, they need to be
That's right.
past the Packers. Because as we see in this league, and as I was walking by one of the TVs, whatever show was on, the little crawler there underneath said, "Will the Packers make the playoffs?" So all you got to do is win one game, right?
No, it's not just win one game.
Right?
It's win one game over the
Cowboys. Right? And by God, you're not going to lose another game. Well, we'll tune in tonight to see how that
That's right. They're playing. They've got the turnaround this week. They're playing the Tennessee Titans tonight. Is that in Green Bay?
Yes.
Okay.
Green Bay, correct.
And when you lose one, you're never going to win another one if you're the Cowboys, right? So we'll see what happens this weekend.
There's actually a decent Thursday night game this week.
Yes, absolutely.
I like that matchup, the Titans and the Packers. Yeah.
Al Michaels is probably happy.
You know why that is? Because we're in November.
That's it?
That's sweeps time.
Oh.
Yeah. Although that didn't account for last week's game, which was Atlanta and Carolina or whoever it was. So,
but I bet it counted for Sunday's 325 game.
That's right.
I hear it was a well-watched game on TV.
And that was a Fox game.
Right.
And
now
CBS There's a reason that the Cowboys are getting these Green Bay on Fox in the late window, and then Minnesota. And because the schedule maker knew that the Vikings would be 8-1.
That's right.
In week 10 of the season.
They were the only ones that knew that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
They might have.
No.
Not even the Vikings thought that they would be 8-1.
Vikings. There you go.
Right. That's right. And even a week ago, even with a minute left in the game last week, the Vikings didn't think they would be 8-1.
Mm-hmm.
But
you didn't think they planned that out to leave the ball at the 1 yard line and then see if they can fumble the center snap for a touchdown?
I will say this. I think it's been a very good thing that the 3 days that I missed in a row were the 3 days after Christian Watson caught 3 touchdown passes, don't you think?
we were very grateful.
We had to sit here and take all of that crap. We had to swallow all that crow just because of you, man.
Yeah.
Okay? Just because of you.
He proved in that game what the scouts said about him.
That he can catch.
He can't catch.
He can't catch, and then he can.
The scouts said he can't catch, and then he proved that you can't catch him, too.
Well, once he can catch it.
Yeah, if he catches it, watch out.
It was the old Alexander Wright theory, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you got to cover him because you never know when he's going to catch one.
Yeah.
I have somebody that's trying to move on. I have a quote here.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to read it all, but J-Ron Kirsch is moving on.
He was pretty honest yesterday.
Yes, he was. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should be angry, he said. You should be frustrated. If you're not, then I think we got the wrong guys on this defense. If you're walking around like everything is fine, knowing how things went for us last year against San Francisco being a big reason on why we didn't advance in the postseason last year. If you're not frustrated, then we got the wrong guys on this defense if you're not mad.
So why do you think Mike McCarthy keeps having to answer the question, are you worried about a team that's still angry and frustrated? Hell no.
No, that's what you want.
Right?
Yes. The sense of urgency. That's what I like.
It's like, well, they haven't put that behind them. Well, I don't want it behind them.
No.
If it's a win, you put that behind them.
If you put it behind them, then you still forget how to stop the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to go forward with some sense of urgency. And like you said, if you're in here happy about how you played, then you're the only one. And then you shouldn't be that happy. You should be worried about this team because there's a pattern that is evolving here.
And I believe it was Curse that said this yesterday. I don't think it was Gallimore, but one of them said, so, it's the old do your job deal, which Douglas Barraclough reminded me that on an away game during Jason Garrett's time as the head coach, they would pass out the room keys, and there'd be a little saying on there.
Like the saying of the week, the theme of the week?
Yeah, and he pulled out one that had do your job on the key, right? And so those guys were saying, okay, so say you're a defensive lineman and you're supposed to take the B gap. And then somebody else comes over in the B gap with you, which means the C gap's open. And if the C gap's open, the running backs are good enough to know where it's open. And the offensive lineman can come off the ball and hit your linebackers. And now it makes it even more difficult. So if you're supposed to be in the C gap, stay in the C gap. And so we'll see if the discipline picks up, because obviously Minnesota will test them with Kelvin Cook.
I was never a running back. I'm not built for running back. But my dad was. He was a hell of a fullback. And he talked about the same way you hit the line that Tom Landry talked about when Dorsett would get the ball. We would pitch it out to him. He would go lateral, looking for the softness in the cutback. And that's what has been created time and time again against our defense. They are allowed to create softness because there's no coordination in the attack defensively by our defensive line and linebackers.
And this is nothing new.
Nothing new at all.
9 games and 7 teams have run for more than 100 yards.
But the reason is nothing new as well, because we're talking 1980s when I first heard it.
Right.
And it's still, to this day, they create the softness, and when they hit that line, they're going downhill. The linebackers are not stuffing the hole. The linemen in the wrong gaps. And that softness turns it from what should be a 1-yard gain sometimes into a 5-6+ yard gain.
Though, what was different about this loss than any loss that the Cowboys have had since 2020? All the losses last year and in the 2 previous ones this year, what was the difference in this loss compared to those? This was the first time that the Cowboys didn't fall behind by double digits in the first half of a game.
Oh, that's true.
And lose the game.
They actually had a lead.
They actually had a
double-digit lead.
In fact, a 14-point lead going to the fourth quarter. And as you all know, first time in franchise history, they've blown a 14-point fourth-quarter lead and lost a game.
Yeah, but they had the 14-point lead in the fourth quarter for a minute 37
No,
seconds.
but I'm saying going into the fourth quarter.
Yes,
I know. That's what it is.
But they were halfway to losing it.
Let's lose
in the third quarter.
Okay, but they had the 14-point lead at the end of the third quarter.
I know.
So that's what the statistic
Mick always seems to be very optimistic about that.
But the point is, this is the
I'm
first
a little
time.
skeptical about it.
This is the first time. If you look at all of their losses, all 6 of their losses last year, including the playoffs, they fell behind by double digits in the second quarter of the game. And
that's a good one.
And then this year, Tampa Bay and Philadelphia, they fell behind. And what happens when you fall behind like that is the other team can now run the football, and they're running clock basically when they do that, and they own the game from that point. So it's hard to come back and win those games. But what the Packers did in this game was even though they were down, they still ran the football.
Yes.
The other teams, if they got down by 14, they would not have kept running the football, and that's when the Cowboys.
Chicago Bears did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But they don't have the same
Well, the Bears didn't have the ability to throw 3 touchdown passes.
That's true.
Right. And the Cowboys scored 49 points in that game.
Can't score 49 every week.
Yeah.
28 should be enough.
28 should be enough with this great defense that we have. In air quotes.
Yeah, we don't have to be worrying about a nickname here.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, they have some nicknames for them already.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear
All
them.
of a sudden, they got a lot of nicknames this week.
SOB, I think, was one of them. Or at least the letter I got in the mail. Oh, Lord.
In the mail?
In the mail.
In the mail.
In the mail.
Not
Could
email.
that be a Mick shot mailbag? We go to the Mick mailbag?
I can't even get into
No.
what it had to say.
This was in the mail?
In the mail.
In the
It was mail.
address with a return address.
Address to return address.
Yes, and a phone number.
Stamped.
And a phone number.
Oh, he wants to talk.
Who gets mail anymore?
I did.
That's amazing. If it's not a bill, who gets mail?
They knew the address to One Cowboys Way.
I can't remember the last time I walked to the mailbox.
Oh, I do.
Oh, don't you get junk mail?
I do.
My wife gets it.
Oh,
Oh,
well.
see, he's
well,
a kept.
well.
He's a kept man.
Yeah.
He's a kept man. You see, he doesn't.
I have no
reason.
reason. There's only bad news if I'm going to that mailbox. Why
is so
why
true.
would I
That
ever
is
go
so
to the
true.
There
mailbox?
might be a check in there.
No, there's no check in
No
there.
check?
No.
Okay.
No, I can
He
guarantee
gets,
you
he
that.
gets
the
his check by
mailbox.
direct deposit. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's big time.
It's yeah.
I still get a few that way.
Yeah. Are you done with that rant?
Yes.
Okay. You don't have the letter with you.
It's on my desk.
Well,
That's
maybe
amazing.
during the break you could
You know
get
what
it.
You should run up there and go get
And
it.
you know what?
Why don't you go get it?
You know what it looks like? You remember when you were in grade school and you had the wide lines that you can write real big? This one is outside the white lines.
Hold up, man. What
the
is
letters
happening?
are like this high.
Is it in crayon?
Pencil.
Sharpie.
Pencil. No, it was kind of.
It was in pencil.
It was it was a gray. Now I don't know if it was a gray magic marker or what, but it was.
Serial killer.
And I was.
That's what I
was
see.
thinking-
I'm thinking serial
If
killer.
I had
bro.
to turn this one
Save
in.
your mail.
Yeah.
Save all of that. Save all the evidence. Okay, they need to do some DNA on that thing.
And I can't remember if it was on the front of the envelope or the back of the envelope. It had something about voodoo.
Okay. No, man.
Have you had enough?
Don't bring that letter back. Don't bring that.
No,
letter
don't bring
here.
that in here.
You know, when-
we don't want any of that stuff in here.
When Nikki saw how it was addressed, and she's the one upstairs.
She said, "It must be for Mick."
She said, I don't know if I should open this.
Oh Lord.
As she brought the mail the other day.
man.
All right, let's go to practice.
Okay.
Get something that's somewhat important. So opening, as the Cowboys were stretching as normal, Zeke and Michael Gallup were on the cords with Britt Brown. Anthony Brown was out there for the stretch. He had his helmet on. And then all I saw him do after that when we were out there is kind of standing around watching.
I see him. I just saw him coming in, but standing around watching. I thought
And that one bothers me.
Yeah.
Because he said he would be in concussion protocol and that the earliest he would be out is Friday. So my guess is what they have to evaluate is if he does strenuous activity, physical activity for a day or two, and then what effect does that have on him? So Friday would be the earliest that he would clear the concussion protocol. DeMarcus Lawrence did not practice yesterday, and Mike McCarthy said that he would start the practice today with Britt Brown on the resistant cords. He's got a toe problem. And he came out after the stretch and special teams, but he did not have pads on. So that didn't bode well for practicing on Thursday. Maybe he gets in, does something on Saturday.
And this is who again?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
So
we
we
need
got to
him.
keep an eye on him. Anthony Barr was dressed, and he was on the resistance cords with Britt. And I didn't see Quentin Bohanna out there now. I could have missed him. He wasn't on
How
the injury
could you
report.
miss Quentin Bohanna?
Well, I said maybe I missed him because I didn't see him out there.
How large a man is this?
Well, evidently not large enough for the A gap.
Mm-hmm. Good one, Spags. That's a good one.
Hankins is.
That's a good one.
So anyway, that's your injury update.
So Anthony Barr, you're thinking his return, the triumphant return to Minnesota?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see. At least he had his pads on. So, maybe he was supposed to do that, warm up, and then get in limited practice and then take it to Saturday. But I did see where the Minnesota Vikings have 3 guys yesterday that did not practice and 3 starters that did not practice. Christian Darrisaw, their offensive tackle, is missing with a concussion. Caleb Evans, their cornerback, concussion, and Delvin Tomlinson, the starting defensive lineman, with a calf injury. 2 guys were limited for the Vikings, Zadarius Smith, outside linebacker, and Justin Jefferson had a bad toe. So maybe they go out there and step on it.
I don't think he needs that toe.
How
You
much
don't
is
think
he
so?
licking
Pretty
his
sure he's
chops?
do well without that
Oh,
toe.
boy, especially if
After
Anthony
he
Brown's
watched
not out
what
there.
Christian Watson did?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, you would hope that Trayvon Diggs is at least on
traveling. He's a
on
traveling
Jefferson.
man this week.
Well, he traveled with Lazard last week.
Well,
and until Lazard got on somebody else, when Deron
He
Bland
decided the
fell
game.
down, decided the game. But they didn't have anybody to take care of Christian Watson.
All right, one other thing on I got a couple of things here, and we'll get into after the break. But on the concussion, so on Anthony Brown, so it's how you react to strenuous activity is the
That's kind
judgment
of
on it?
the protocol. Yeah, you got to come back and have no ill effects.
We would never play in an NFL game. If how we reacted to strenuous activity determined whether or not we could.
My body's still reacting to
That's right.
strenuous activity from 30 years ago.
There you go.
These guys are worried about the next day.
Yeah. All right.
Next
It's
week.
not your body, it's your head, okay?
We continue with more Mick shots in a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, kpostcompany.com. And guess what? If I needed K-Post Company, I could have just stopped their truck this morning because I went by one of their trucks.
Really?
And guess what it has on the trailer that was behind it?
Your
Mick
face.
shots.
It said, check your roof by choice, not by chance.
Does it have your face saying it?
I waved at him.
It should have his mouth wide open.
Right?
Still shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
K-Post Roofing and Water.
I almost know that commercial
So they
by
do
heart.
exist.
You shouldn't even have to read that anymore.
I know.
You should know it
I
by
don't
heart.
trust myself.
All right, you talked about the Vikings left tackle Christian Darrisaw, who is in concussion protocol, and he had to come out of the game against Buffalo, missing the last 39 snaps of that game.
significant.
Okay, all right. The Vikings ran 83 snaps in that game on offense. All right, get this. I'm doing my study in rehab the last few days. One of the main reasons the Vikings are 8-1 right now?
Because they come from behind and win games.
Well, I would point to the offensive line and the lack of injuries on their offensive line. Their starting five on their offensive line has been totally intact all season. First half of the season.
And I was going to say the running game.
The running game.
Yeah, that's what I was.
And that includes the season opener? No one got hurt for 3 months?
No, you mean before the season even started?
Tyron Smith?
Yeah, before the season even started. No, they've got the starting offensive lineman they intended to have, if you include Ed Ingram from DeSoto, Texas, and LSU, their second-round draft pick, who won the right guard spot coming out of camp. All right, the first 8 games of the season, the 5 starting offensive linemen for the Vikings, you know how many total offensive snaps they missed in those 8 games?
39.
Nope. 3.
3?
Wow.
They missed 3, and then this last game, their ninth game.
Counting this last game.
So your answer is 0.
Yeah.
Okay, they had missed 3 offensive snaps, those 5 offensive linemen, the first 8 games of the season. And then finally, Christian Darrisaw suffers a concussion midway through the Buffalo game, and Blake Brendel came in to replace him the final 39 snaps. But if you can keep that offensive line intact all season long, I think if you go across the league and just look at injuries on the offensive line, you'll probably find a lot of winning teams who don't have very many injuries on their offensive line.
Including the Cowboys, right?
They've
Other than
except for
Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
Well, McGovern missed it. Didn't he miss a couple games? They had
They had to
start Farniak in there.
That's true.
Maybe
one
2.
game. I thought it was one game.
Maybe one game.
Yeah.
I could look that up.
I've got it right here. McGovern missed the Cincinnati game and the Giants game, games 2 and 3, and
that was
but you would count. I mean, if the Cowboys, I don't know how many snaps they've had on offense so far. Let's say they've had 550. So with Tyron Smith alone, they've missed 550 snaps. So,
and I'm looking at that because he was injured before the season started, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking at it. We're still intact. What we started the season with, we still have.
Yeah, minus Tyron.
Tyron.
Yeah. But the Vikings have the guys that they wanted in there all season, and they still. So it'll be interesting on Darrisaw. Because obviously what they're doing offensively and in the run game, it's that offensive line is a big reason why.
Bill, that was a pretty good guess. They've had 581 offensive snaps.
I know, he said 500, yeah.
Yeah.
But, when we talk about all the problems that we had, and once again, getting past the Packers, the only reason I don't want to get past them in this moment, we ran the hell out of the ball. We have not even talked about how well we ran the ball.
Do you know what else? The 28 points they scored was the second most. The Bears tops, right?
Yes.
The 421 yards total tops. And you mentioned running the football without Zeke.
Yes.
And I don't even know if we brought up Malik Davis's name. But if it's not for a BS holding call.
There you go.
I almost said it.
Yeah.
Davis had another 16 yards in that.
And he went for 38 on 5 carries as it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So put another 16, that's 54.
On 6 carries, I think that's about 9 yards a carry.
You know, you're looking at an offensive line that made that happen.
Yes.
And we have not talked nearly enough about that today, about how well our offensive line has been playing.
And look at the Chicago game. I mean, they played very well in the Chicago game.
And unfortunately, on the 4th down play, while whatever they called broke down and Dak had to hold the ball way too long, when he tried to step up, he got hit as he was trying to throw the ball, which even if that was his only choice, it was to Pollard, it wasn't going to get a first down.
Well, you know, Pollard.
Yeah, maybe.
It depends on what the linebacker, if he was off balance or whatever. But I just want him to catch it.
So, Bill, 4 of the Cowboys' 5 starting offensive linemen have played at least 99.7% of the snaps.
There you go.
The other 3, 100%, and then McGovern. So,
and that, to me, that's something that we need to. That's what they need to hang their hats on.
With the exception of your perennial Pro Bowl offensive tackle missing 581 snaps so far.
And we're still balling. And we're still balling on the offensive line side. Yeah.
I mean, they ran on the Packers.
They ran on the Bears.
They just didn't run at the right times.
I remember seeing some really good blocks by Steele. And I think he's really been playing well this year. When Pollard has gotten through there, you could see him starting off with a double team and coming off and chipping the linebacker and just making room for Pollard to go through. I think he's really playing exceptional.
He can get downfield.
He can. Yeah. I think he's playing really exceptional ball this year.
Very good point. Yeah, absolutely. What else in your bedridden research do you have?
Well, so do you think
he was on the couch? He wasn't in the bed.
Do you think Zeke is with 2 games in 5 days now? What are the chances on Zeke?
I think they're improved over last week. Yeah,
to play at Minnesota.
To play at Minnesota,
and they don't the 2 games in 5 days. We'll let Thursday happen when Thursday happens.
Yeah, because if they're clearing him, that means he's not out there limping and he shouldn't re-injure it, right? And if he is, then the 2 guys that ran the ball last week did a pretty good job.
And
Pollard actually
endurance
had his season high in carries. I think it was 20.
That's right.
It had been 14. Although I did see at one point he did tap out.
Who doesn't tap out these days, right?
And here's the point: on 2 days in 5 days, it's not Zeke, but does Pollard need the relief?
Right.
With 2 games in 5 days.
Had 22 carries, so that's 8 more than he's ever had.
He would honestly tell you, this is new
to
have this kind of workload. I mean, it's obvious that it is. But to say that he's taking this and it's not even giving him any type of, fatigue, that would be a lie. Because like you said, he had to tap out a couple of times just because he was so exhausted. It wasn't just that I made a long play and, hey, come get me out. No, he couldn't go another step those moments. And when you don't need him just to run the ball when he's tired. We need him picking up blitzes when he's tired. So you got to be thinking clearly. You can't be worried about fatigue.
And he still needs that burst that separates him.
That's right. I'd love to see Zeke come in and soften things up for him. I'd like to see that where Zeke just goes in there. Zeke, reckless abandon. The hole is there. You guys just don't see it. I see it, and I'm going to make a hole. That's Zeke. And with Pollard, all he needs is a crease.
So 6 of the carries were in the 4th quarter, and really 5 because the last one he got was with 9 seconds to go in the game. So they weren't going anywhere with that. And then in the 4th quarter drive, I should look at that because that was a long drive. 1, 2, 3. Davis had 1. And that was it. 3 carries in overtime. Davis, he had 1 that got canceled. Pollard had 1 that got canceled on the offensive offsides. God.
Wide receiver. Hey, what'd you think about that, Bill? What'd you think about that? Come on, what did you think about that?
Maybe they need to put the blue line on the field so they can see.
Yeah,
where
can they do
at.
that?
Bill,
that he was.
What did you think about that? I got to hear this, man. When did you know where the line of scrimmage was as a kid? I'm just asking, man. When did you know as a kid where the line of scrimmage was? I mean, how long?
What age?
Yes.
I started playing Irving YMCA football at age 8.
Okay.
Okay, which is 4 years later than kids start playing these days.
Oh, yeah, I played at 11.
Yeah.
I started at 11.
No, yeah, but they start at age 3 or 4 now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Did you have 73,000 people watching you?
No.
Was your big head offside? just I mean, come on. Did you once line up offsides?
No, never.
No.
Ever.
No, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, but pre-snap, did you ever line up offsides? I want to make sure that
where your feet were offsides too, not just your head, but where your feet were lined up offsides.
I mean, he had to be looking at the defense. There's no way he was looking at the line. I mean, come on, man. I just can't get over that. I just can't turn that page.
I never lined up offsides either.
I cannot turn that page, man. I cannot turn that page. I'm like, I saw it happening, and as soon as
in real time,
it is. Yes, I'm like they called it. As soon as the play, they called it.
And when he looked, he scooched back, but he only scooched back like 2 inches.
And he almost got. He was moving almost when the ball was snapped. So I was like, man, no, don't do this, man. Don't do this. And what you see there, you have a team that should be more poised while you're trying to redeem yourself. And that was redemption time. We're trying to keep the ball. We're trying to drive. We're trying to make plays. This is the moment. We talked about how stats are great, but moments are even greater. And that was a moment where you just totally crapped the bed, man. It's like, come on, dude. This just makes no sense.
I have a question for you before we go to break here.
Yes, sir.
Which came first, the Green Bay logo or the Grambling logo?
Man, come on, baby.
I mean,
first of all, which one looks better?
The Grambling looks better.
Grambling does look better.
Yeah. But which one was Grambling? Was the Grambling logo first or the Green Bay?
Well, probably Grambling's logo, and then the white folks stole it. You know how
I'm
it's
saying
America, man.
The Packers started playing football in 1921, I believe it was.
Well, college football's been around for 150 years.
Has Grambling?
Yes.
It has.
I'm lying.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
They weren't going to have a university for you guys.
When did they start?
I believe it was 21.
Oh, damn. No, 40-something was when Rob first got there. Yeah,
because they weren't going to let you have a university. Hell no.
No, it was a college. Then.
College, excuse me.
I like the Grambling logo a lot better. Yeah.
Well,
all right.
If it was a zero, I mean, if it was all filled out, it would have been Oregon, right?
Yeah. See, that's what you need to worry about.
Okay.
This is mine.
Yeah. All right. It bothered me.
This is the way they
it bothered
cheese.
me at first
this
when
is the way they
I thought you had a Green Bay.
See, he's got
jacket
gold
on.
in the middle of his
This is
G.
the way they
They've
make
got
G's.
black.
Okay, this is the G thing. You know, I can't help that.
Yeah. All right. Go Grambling. And
Go Grambling.
Back with more Mick Shots in a moment.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere Zero Turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more.
Back to Mick Shots.
Hey, Bill, get your holiday photo with Santa at the Star, presented by Monument Realty. Santa Claus will be at his Cowboys-themed cottage in the Star District across from Ascension from November 18th through December 24th. Book your visit before December 2nd and save $5 with the code STARS. Visit thestardistrict.com/Santa for more info.
Nice.
Does it go right to Santa, you think?
What were the dates again? I need to know the dates.
November 18th through the 24th.
18th is Saturday.
This Saturday.
No, Friday. What is it?
Today's the 17th.
All right, it's tomorrow.
Yes.
It's Friday.
So make sure you get your letter in the mail.
Okay, so what starts the 18th?
Your theme visit with Santa Claus.
So Santa is there?
At his cottage.
Santa is there at his cottage tomorrow.
Outside.
Yep. Across from Ascension. You know where Ascension is? The coffee shop that's...
okay.
Yeah. It's right underneath the overhang where the Ring of Honor names are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you do it before December 2nd, you save $5.
Now, do you have the big Christmas tree lighting date?
That is not on here.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Although Sounds of the Star, you'll find out about that tomorrow.
Well, tell us today.
They only get one shot a week. That's every Friday at 7 p.m.
Okay.
They light the tree tomorrow night.
And that starts.
Light the tree tomorrow night. That's what I was getting at.
It's not on my read.
It's not happening if it's not on Mickey's read.
Right.
Okay. Well, I was told that the first dance out there in the plaza is tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night's the big night.
That's right, because I ran past one of the security guys, and I said, "Oh, you're working late tonight." He goes, "Oh, we got rehearsal for the Friday night."
Okay, so Friday night's the big deal.
Yeah.
You want to look into the plaza and see what it looks like right now?
Yeah, let's look inside the plaza right now. There it is.
Getting ready for it.
There it is.
But they haven't finished the video board.
They're still working on the video board, but it's pretty much finished. Yeah, it's on.
Oh,
it's on.
okay. It looks
for
like
everybody listening online. We're looking at the Tostitos Championship Plaza.
Tostitos Championship Plaza. There's a big Christmas tree that is not in the shot right now.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
It's to the right.
It's to the right in the shot if you're watching online.
Can we see the peak? Is that the shadow peak?
And then if you keep walking farther to the right across the street, you'll get to where Santa's themed cottage is.
Okay, well, there you go. We're telling people exactly where they need to go. And it really is great this time of the year, although it still seems a little early to me. But
well, the cold showed up.
That's right.
It's
and
never
speaking
too
of
early
cold,
for Christmas, Bill.
That's
you
right.
know how that goes.
That's right. And speaking of cold,
yes,
there was actually a college football game last night on the CBS Sports Network, and I don't know, it was Miami of Ohio and somebody. I was flipping around, and they were playing in the snow, and I was like, yes, let's watch.
That.
I want to watch this game, and it may have been on tape, but what's the forecast for Buffalo on Sunday? Everson?
I do not know, but it's going to be a bunch of snow.
You were just telling me
it's going to be a bunch of snow, and they're looking at moving the game.
That much snow.
That much snow. Buffalo is thinking about
6 feet
moving the game.
of snow is what I heard.
Get out of
here. See, back in the day, that was fun for them.
You don't move games because of snow.
Hey, they didn't back in the day.
It's a man's game.
They did. Yes,
that's right. They're playing Cleveland. I mean, in Cleveland, they're used to snow.
Come on, man. I was there, baby. I was there. Yes, they are used to snow.
Cleveland plays at Buffalo at noon on Sunday.
28 degrees for a high, 23 for a low. The precipitation is going to come on Saturday.
Well, okay, so that's why they're saying they can't get to the game.
Dump it on Saturday.
They'll just do what Green Bay does. You call in Sunday morning before the game. You get all the volunteers to come with their own snow shovel,
But they have ownership of the team.
And you go, right. Just the owners go in and do it, and they shovel out the aisles in the stadium so people can get in and sit on those cold metal bleachers.
I don't care about
Actually, the snow is going to start on Friday and continue into Saturday, getting worse.
It's supposed to be, what I heard, I have no idea if this is true or not, 6 feet of snow in Buffalo. And I don't care about the fans being at the game. It's us being able to watch them play in the snow is the important thing, right?
So you're gonna need an ex-con to come with the snowplow.
Right. Yeah.
Have him at the ready. Right? Yeah. So go pay his bail. Get him on the sideline.
Here's how cold.
Get him a getaway car.
Here's how cold it could be up there in Cleveland. It must have been late 80s. I covered a playoff game there, and it had snowed like heavily. And as cars were pulling into the parking lot closest to the stadium, they got a standing ovation that they made it there, right? And then when I got in the stadium, I saw the beer cases all stacked up. They didn't need to put them in ice.
No, you don't.
They just left them outside.
Yes.
Reminded me of.
You might need to bring them inside.
Reminded me of college. It's like, we don't need to ice this down. Just put it on the porch.
Yeah, I learned about lake effect snow. I told y'all that story.
Yeah.
My first game in Cleveland, lake effect snow. I'm like, what does that even mean?
What does it mean?
It comes
means
in
that
heavy.
I was late to the game. That's what the hell it means. Me and Nick Saban were late to the game. That's what that means. Yeah, that's how bad it was. No one was moving. Nothing was moving.
Belichick was okay with that?
No, he fined both of us. You crazy? That was my first home game. I mean, it came from the lake, and it has its own front.
You were with Saban?
Hell no.
They showed up together.
Yeah, we just happened. I didn't even really know Nick at the time. I just got there like 4 days prior.
That was before Nick Saban was Nick Saban.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nick was just a defensive coordinator.
That's how he learned to find people.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I mean, and no one was moving. And I'm asking Bill, well, what do you want me to do? No one's moving. There was a parking lot on the street. Lake effect snow. Like, wow, it's crazy.
Well, the Cowboys are just very happy that they've got the Dome Stadium.
Yes.
Indoor stadium in Minneapolis. It's snowing right now in 27 degrees, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We don't need that final game in '89.
For those of you heading to Minneapolis for the game, on Sunday the low will be 11 degrees in Minneapolis with a high of 31. Saturday the high is 21 in Minneapolis.
Let's talk about Bud Grant.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how Bud Grant used to perform.
Short sleeve.
Short sleeve, no gloves. Right? He didn't want to see any gloves on any of his players. They couldn't wear gloves. Give me a break in Minneapolis. That was the law of the land for him.
What did I tell you I was going to do last night?
What?
Go play tennis?
Yeah.
I needed gloves. I didn't have any.
Man, I took my run. I felt good.
All right.
I'm ready for that turkey trot. I promise you I'm ready.
We're going to get those results here in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the turkey trot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Every year.
Is that the Dallas turkey trot?
It is.
There's several turkey trots all over.
We're here in Dallas. No, we're here in Dallas.
You do the one downtown.
The one downtown.
The big one.
Where my sister used to work. That's right. Down by the city.
On Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That morning. So that you'll see me at the game, and I will be dog tired. But I will be happy because it's over. Half marathon comes next, and I'll be done.
So how far is the turkey trot?
8 miles for me. 8 miles.
Okay.
And they have 8, 5, and 3. Yeah, 8, 5, and 3.
So 3K.
Yeah. Well,
5K. 5K.
Yeah, 5K. Thank you. Yeah, 5K.
Yeah.
We could do that.
My son did it.
I can't.
3 miles.
No, he can. He can walk it. He can walk it.
I told you. I've got torn meniscus in my knee.
I forgot.
It's
it's the dumbest mistake I ever made. I was told by a physician that if you've got torn meniscus in your knee, if you're an athlete, I would recommend surgery. But you're not an athlete, so go find an elliptical machine. And so I haven't been able to jog for 10 years because of torn.
Which should be fixed.
Torn cartilage.
Which should be fixed.
Yeah.
You should have got it fixed.
He listened to his doctor.
You listened to the wrong people.
I know he did.
No doubt
You
I
need
should
to
have
go
got it.
see Dr. Cooper.
Here's the other thing that happens then. Then you get to be 60 years old. Okay.
Like, who cares?
No. You get to be 60 years old, and then you're a day away from having that knee fixed, and the insurance won't cover it.
Nope.
Because you're too old.
No, because you're too old.
No, when he gets 65,
Yeah.
he can get
So that's what
Medicaid
happened.
and Medicare take care of it.
No, you need to get the right assurance, and you need to get the right doctor.
65, man. It's coming.
Yeah. All right, that's the next thing I'm doing.
And then you get arthritis in that knee.
Well, that's the reason, because on the report it showed signs of early arthritis.
Well, then you just
so
get,
that's not why they rejected it. The
you get a
insurance
partial or a full knee replacement.
No, I ain't doing that.
Well, let me
Not
just
until
say,
it's necessary.
let me just say this: someone is happy that you're back.
No way.
Nate Newton.
Ah.
Bill's back! Exclamation point! Question mark.
Well, you know what? That'll be the headline to the show on.
All right.
Bill's back.
Bill is back.
And I'm surprised I made it through the entire 45
And
minutes.
not one cough.
I started.
Just a little.
Yeah, I suppressed coughs along the way there, but
Good job.
at the 30-minute mark, I was feeling fatigue, but I fought through it. And so here we are.
And what
at
people
the
can't
finish
see
line.
is just in case he had some flu
Explosion.
being thrown at us, we left the door
Left the
open.
door open.
Door
Yes.
is open.
But y'all are immune because you've had your flu
Hopefully
shots.
them shots
I
work.
was immune. He's not.
Yeah, I think I should be.
All right. So that does it for a Thursday edition. And by the way, I will not have a relapse tomorrow.
Already, see? That's what happens when guys come back
All right.
too soon with their knee.
Who schedules a wedding in the middle of football season?
No, man.
Well, my nephew does. And he's getting married down in Dripping Springs, and so I've got to head down for the rehearsal dinner. And who schedules a rehearsal dinner at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? So
5 o'clock?
Yeah, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I did the math. I'm like, wait a second. I got to hit the road by noon to make it there for sure.
Rehearsal dinner should be
Yeah.
Friday night at
They'll have
7.
a plate. They'll have a plate set aside for you, Bill.
Right.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
About it.
You know what my role is at the reception? I announce the wedding party. We do it like that's why I had to. That was the main reason I had to get my voice back by the weekend.
Look what's on the TV right now.
There you go. We got snow on the TV.
It's the
Mickey,
Buffalo
the distractible player, Mickey.
Colts game.
Buffalo.
See something
Colts.
on
No,
the
he's like,
NFL Network.
like a
in
squirrel.
case all of us
Squirrel.
can see it.
That's the 6 months. The 6 months. The 6 feet you wanted to see, right?
All right. So there you go. That's it for a
How
Thursday
stupid
edition
is that?
of Mick Shots. And some of us will chat at you tomorrow here on another fabulous Football Friday edition of Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!